Well, I flew a little bit too close to the sun. I got cocky, guys. I thought, hey, I had a lot of fun playing Sonic Adventure 2, and Sonic Heroes was a lot better than I remembered. Why not? Why not revisit Shadow? A game I've never beaten? Not all the way, anyway. Let's give it a shot. Oh boy, why did I do this? So this is Shadow the Hedgehog. Probably notorious for being one of the worst games in the series. This is kind of the game that, well, depending on who you ask, this started the dark age of Sonic, or was just another one in the dark age. I think it's the one that started it for sure. However, it's still not the worst one. I do think that this game is objectively worse than Sonic 06, but not as bad as Sonic and the Secret Rings. That is still the absolute bottom of the barrel. So this game is a mess for a lot of reasons that we're mostly going to get into during gameplay, but it does have some bright spots, let me be completely honest. I didn't thoroughly hate this experience. I just kind of did sometimes. But we'll get into that. Great music. Some of the best in the series. That's something for sure. So this game is well known for having multiple pathways. You know, it's kind of a confusing game to even talk about because story-wise, nothing really matters. Except for the opening cutscene and the final story. So you can see here there's a bunch of paths. There's up, down, left, right, center. I'm going to be doing 2 playthroughs of both extremes. I'm going to be doing a hero story and a dark story.
Shadow the Hedgehog. Why does that name haunt me? It's the only thing I can remember. And that gruesome image. Maria! Who am I? And why can't I remember anything? And who is this Maria? Pathetic they are. I don't have time for these humans.
Shadow. As you can see, the day of reckoning will soon be here. Find the 7 Chaos Emeralds and bring them to me as promised.
Huh? Who are you and how do you know I'm Shadow? And what are you talking about? What was that all about? If he says he knows the truth about who I am, then like it or not, I have to believe him. The only way I'm gonna get the secrets to my past is to get those Chaos Emeralds.
So, as I said, we are going to be doing 2 playthroughs. I was thinking about doing 3 and making one of them a neutral path story, but we don't need that. We just don't need that. So we're going to be doing hero side, dark side, just like Sonic Adventure 2. Because as much as people don't want to admit it, this is the sequel to Sonic Adventure 2. In so many ways. It is a direct story sequel to it. It's similar gameplay-ish. It's more in line with that than it is with Heroes.
Long time no see. Looks like
So right off the bat, you're going to kind of get introduced into the way that this game plays. So Sonic just showed up.
There should be a Chaos Emerald somewhere in this city.
Destroy the soldiers.
Let's show the black creatures that we mean business.
And we have a couple different missions. If we select Sonic's mission, we go down on the path, which is what we need to do. To follow the hero side story, you need to do the hero side mission in each level. And right here is a big point of contention that, you know, when you think of Shadow the Hedgehog, you think of, oh, it's the game where he gets guns and shoots. The gun stuff, by far, without a doubt, my favorite part of the game. Divorcing it completely from just the concept of a Sonic character holding a gun, like a realistic handgun, and shooting it is stupid, it's silly, whatever. But it controls well. All you do is just point and shoot. It auto-aims very generously. It feels fun to do. And honestly, I think it's fun. It's fun enough. I have no problems with the gun stuff in this game at all. A lot of them are quite fun to use and satisfying. So, each level has 3 missions, as we talked about. There's a dark mission, a hero mission, and a neutral mission. It won't always be like that. Some missions won't have a dark or a hero or a neutral, depending on which path you take. This time we're following Sonic, and his path is to kill all of the black arms that are in the city. There's 45 of them, no more, no less, which means you have to kill every single one. This game is basically what if you took the Chaotix gameplay from Sonic Heroes and just made the entire game that? Which, I don't know, it's not great. I don't, for the most part, mind the mission-based levels. It gives it something to stand out. However, some of the missions in this game are god-awful. And some of, like, the absolute worst levels that any Sonic game has ever had. I will say, in some regards, this game feels and controls better than Sonic Heroes. For instance, the triangle jump is way better now because you don't have to just keep mashing the button. You can run along it. It doesn't feel as perilous. One of my big complaints with Sonic Heroes was how slippery and fast all the characters felt. Unfortunately, that has not been fixed. I actually think it's worse in this game. Shadow's top speed is, I think, much higher than any of the speed characters were in Sonic Heroes, which is just wild to me. So, for the most part in this game, you're doing mission-based stuff. So you're kind of taking it slow throughout the levels, you know, examining every single area, making sure you've killed every single, you know, thing that you're supposed to be killing. So you're not exactly going at your top speed. So it's, you know, it's not too noticeable for the most part, but the neutral pathway is usually just get to the goal. And that's when you can really feel the top speed and the speed just being an issue and being just as floaty and slippery as Sonic Heroes, if not more so. You know, I think the game looks good, it sounds good, it's got 60 FPS just like Sonic Heroes did, and it looks fantastic. So this game is what I would like to say is, you know, people love the story in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, and then they basically strip it back in Sonic Heroes, and there's no story whatsoever, basically. And remember, as a kid, that was my big complaint with Heroes, was that the story wasn't as in-depth or interesting. as it was in the previous 2 games. So I'm sure a lot of people were saying around that time, like, hey, can we go back to having like a big involved story? And it's a bit of a monkey paw situation. The monkey's paw curled. And we're like, oh, you want a Sonic game with a lot of story? Here you go. And Shadow the Hedgehog was born out of that devious wish. So basically the reason that this game is just so weird and bonkers and 99% of the game does not matter is that since there are so many paths, there are so many different outcomes. I think in total there are about 310 different variations that you can take throughout this game. Like, there's that many pathways throughout the entirety of the game, which is insane. There are that many different, you know, just ways that the story can end and twist and turn. And because of the fact that there's so many variations, the story basically doesn't matter. There's nothing in this game that is actually canon to the series, except for the opening cutscene that we saw, and then the last story. So if I really wanted to do like a short playthrough of this game, just show the first cutscene, and then the final story, and that's literally all you have to see.
Disgusting black creatures. Get out of my sight.
My god, Shadow, you cannot say that.
The Black Aliens have hit 6 major cities around the world, and every city is reporting significant damage and casualties. Among them, Westopolis has received the heaviest casualties due to its weakened defense system. Downtown Westopolis has been almost completely destroyed. Unconfirmed sources have also reported seeing a black hedgehog in Westopolis.
Shadow? Deploy the troops now! And if you find Shadow with the Black Aliens, then kill them all.
But sir, isn't Shadow on our
I
side?
gave you an order, soldier. He's evil and he's the enemy. You can't fool me, Shadow. This time, you're mine.
Now that was sweet, Shadow.
Yeah, well, I'm not here to save you.
Thought you might say something like that. How about a little friendly competition?
Don't waste my time.
We found the 3rd Chaos Emerald in this city. Our mission here is done. Now get going.
Guess that means welcome to the next level. Let's go!
Get back here.
So with that, we have dropped down on the path, and this level is such a funny one to compare to just 2 games ago. Sonic Adventure 2, you've got Radical Highway, which is a very 90s thing to do, you know, radical, bodacious. And then in this game, where it's the 2000s and everything has to be edgy and serious, it's now called Lethal Highway. Like, that to me is just so funny.
Let's follow their vehicle.
Yeah, this game's a mess. Controlling it is bad. These enemies are probably my least favorite enemies in the game because it's hard to stop yourself and properly, like, avoid them. They just kind of come out of nowhere and you're gonna hit them.
Watch out, Shadow.
The spin dash is probably the worst spin dash in the series up to this point. You know, it'll get worse as it goes on, but it's basically useless in this game. Now, this was the first time that I ever actually sat down and played this game from start to finish. You know, I've played through like various different story paths before, but I never actually did the whole thing and unlocked the final story and played that. So before I started recording this series, what I had to do, because the way that you unlock the final story is you have to play through the game 10 times. There are, you know, there's the dark path, the semi-dark path, the neutral path, the semi-hero path, and then the hero path. You have to play through each of those once, and then a second time, because at the end, you get the option to, at the very last minute, switch your allegiance and get an alternate ending. And it's really stupid. Again, the story in this game is very dumb. At least Sonic 06 is like a point A to point B story, and you don't have to wonder what's going on. So you have to play through the game 10 times to unlock the final story. And that was probably the least positive thing I have to say about this game. Some paths in this game are better than others. So when I was going through, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to structure this playthrough. And I knew there are some fantastic cutscenes in this game that are so funny, you know, for not the reasons that they intended. And I knew that I had to get some of these cutscenes. So as I embarked on my journey to finally play through this game, the first pathway that I took was the hero pathway, which is the one that we're on right now. And to my surprise, every single cutscene that I wanted to happen happens in this playthrough. So you're going to get all the hits.
I won't allow them to do
the only thing that you're not going to see in this entire series is probably the second most famous line from this game, you know, the find the computer room. That's the only thing that we're not going to be seeing.
Perfect. Hand over that Chaos Emerald, or else.
So, think you have a chance against me, do you?
Look, I don't take orders, especially from you. But I'm not here to fight you either. I'm collecting the emeralds to find my own answers, so why don't you just back off?
You still don't know your place, do you? Black Bull, I summon you! Behold, the wrath of Black Arms!
Woohoo! Now we're talking! Bring it on!
So this is actually a F-Zero reference, because Sega helped make F-Zero GX on the GameCube. There are a couple of enemies in this game that are named after, I believe, ships or characters from the F-Zero games, and this is one of them. So one of the aspects of this game that I haven't talked about yet is the voice cast. This is the first game in the series not to use the old adventure cast, and it instead uses the 4Kids voice cast from Sonic X. And I think they definitely took a while to get going, so this is not their greatest appearance, I would just have to say. I think Jason Griffith's always been pretty good at Shadow, so his Shadow is still pretty good, but like Sonic just sounds weird. Everyone just sounds off in this game. Mike Pollock doesn't even really... He's good in this game, but he still doesn't quite sound like what we know him to sound like now. He sounds a little bit more in tune with how he sounded in 06, which is more of a realistic sound, which isn't fantastic. But I think Jason Griffith finally got the good sound for Sonic when he did Unleashed, which was, of course, his last mainline game, but yeah. Now, you'd think that a lot of the times the gun stuff would help in boss battles, but I find that a lot of the times it just straight up doesn't. Like, this boss is really long and tedious, and it's not fun, and it's just dumb. I don't know. The bosses in this game range from either so quick that it's just not even worth talking about, and so long that they're just not interesting but in a different way because of how slow the fights go on. It's a very bad game, but I'm gonna try and be positive about it. I think there are things in this game that I enjoy. I like that in this game, this is the first one that did it if you get hit by an enemy, you no longer lose every single one of your rings. You only lose 10, which I think is good. I think most games past this point would do that. I don't know if 06 does it, but I know Unleashed does, and all the modern games do it. So I think that's a nice change that they made, and especially for some levels in this game where you have to collect rings, you know, it would be very bad if you lost every single one of your rings just by getting hit once. And of course, there's more of a focus on combat in this game with the guns, and it's a nice change that they made, I think. But we're kind of wrapping down this first video here. This is going to be a wild playthrough. It's going to have a lot of ups and downs. Some levels that I like, some levels that I don't. Fascinatingly bad cutscenes that are so bad that they wrap around to being hilarious. So, stick around if you're interested, and
Out of my
thank
way,
you for watching.
alien monster.
Yes, I will see you next time.